Boy. Yep, of course I got caught, probably. Hello, everyone, again. It is Limbus Company time because I really need to beat the event and I want to keep on streaming. That's everything, basically. Got the game loaded up on this one. Once it wants to load. It popped in last time. There we go. It's here. Nothing new update, I think, for me. Oh, I got Valencina, Rojo, and also Heathcliff. Stages. More reading, I forgot about this. After the battle, something sits ill with me. Amid the sprawl of S-Corp's back streets distorted with the flash, Engdu had her gaze fixed somewhere high overhead. And at the end of her gaze, are those photographs? A long line stretched across the open air, photographs hanging from it like laundry clipping to a clothesline. I mean, they are on a clothesline, Dante. Pretty much. Well, actually, no. I guess those are just like wires or trees, maybe. Also, what are you back here? I mistook it for a kumjul warding rope at first, and gave it little attention. Yet upon closer look, I saw those pictures hanging from the line. Perhaps they had been strung within the darkroom and remained thus when the distortion took hold. Bizarre. Observation of unaffected elements in the space occupied by a location-type distortion is most irregular. Got the two nerds going at it, I guess. Indeed, the items we bore from the studio have already changed into images of various sites of S-Corp, yet these alone remain as they were. Let's take them down and check them out. Just as I was wondering if the line was perhaps too high for me to reach, Rousseau stepped forward and plucked a few photos off it, and the instant he brought them to me, we heard another pop, and again a bright white flash blinded my vision for a moment. Looks like we're in the actual darkroom now. Good grief, this distortion likes to change its mind, huh? Keeps switching between S-Corp and N-Corp. This feels like getting caught in a flashbang detonation. My whole body tenses up, then goes slack right after. The other sinners were grumbling and with the distortion and its sudden jumps as they are oft to do. Except for Merceau, of course. Who, you know, good soldiers follow orders, basically. He gave his usual short answer, then returned his attention to the cylinder he had been shaking. He took the film out of the container and flicked the liquid off it with clean, controlled motions. God. Wait, we're back here with the lights on now? Is it okay to take the film out? Yes, exposure to light will not damage the film once development is complete, and the image is fixed. There's no cause for concern. I couldn't say I followed all the technical details, but no cause for concern was all I needed to hear. So, see anything odd in there, Manager Bud? Huh. Those three are creepy as heck. You know what, there's a hand with flowers. That just looks kind of like Kim, or I guess S-Corp stuff. And then that's just sadness, probably. If I had to pick one similarity between them, though, they all looked cold and indifferent. These do not look colder and different. These look like sadistic smiles. Yeah, that's the city, alright. Ordinary folks you see anywhere. These aren't the photos we picked up at the studio earlier. Are these the kind of photographs they use to make canned experiences? That would definitely make sense, given they're all from, like, different backgrounds. I was about to ask Faust if she'd also felt the strange sensation, but it faded away soon enough. No, Dante, it's not vertigo. This is clearly something we should be very aware of. Like, come on. Marcel must have noticed that I was out of sorts for a moment, because he seemed to pause on purpose before answering my question. I thought you said docugraphers take these photos to put into canned experiences. Raw ingredients for canned experiences are handled exclusively by the Grand Magasin Sisyphe? All I see is Sisyphus, and I know, thanks to Matt, Camus apparently translated Sisyphus. Or at least is known for the one must imagine Sisyphus happy. There is no known method for external parties to access them. Oh, I think I've heard of it. Canned experiences, right? They're in high demand in other districts too, but the only brand stamped on them is Grand Magasin Sisyphe. Same name every time. I remember some of my classmates bragging about trying them whenever exam weeks came around. Never had one myself, though. I can't really explain it, but something about them just feels kind of wrong. I mean, you are looking into someone else's experiences. It is strange that the canned experience, yeah, it is strange that even students can get their hands on them, basically. Because when they're introduced, it feels more like it's a brainwashing technique, rather than just like, oh yeah, just have a fun time disassociating and living someone else's life. Which, like, yeah, I can see the good in that, but at the same time, it also feels like it's a very addictive thing for people who get, like, too attached to it. The unprocessed base content of canned experience, known as experience matter, is supplied to reprocessing factories where docugraphers fine-tune the experience's details. Photographs are primarily used for that purpose. They can fine-tune experience? An easier example for understanding would be to consider why docugraphers take pictures of subjects such as buildings. A purchaser may wish to experience living in a luxurious building that they could never afford. Another may wish to vent out impulses of violence by experiencing the burning of an expensive property. Interesting. Demand for haute couture canned experience is increasing by day. Yes, manager. Conversely, information concerning ordinary experience that could be easily encountered in reality is in low demand, of course. Then why photograph these residents at all? Perhaps these were not images harvested for their commodity value, but pure photography in and of itself. Aw. Poor photographer Kuhn, just wanting to photograph things. Mayhap they have been captured for a desire to seize a vanishing instant through a lens. There are people who take photographs knowing that it will cost an exorbitant sum. I have seen some before. A staggering amount of money just to take a single photo. That is, if they could even manage to find a photographer who'd take the risk and help take the picture. I'm not so crass as to put a price on sentiment and nostalgia, but spending this much money on film rolls, what could have made this investment worth it? I'd say maybe this just isn't a matter of sentiments or memories, even. Leafing through the photographs, the quiet lakes, aw. I'm not exactly an authority on distortions, but I know they manifest through desires or emotions that become warped in bizarre ways. But everything the distortion has shown us so far points back to S-Corp. That is, the S-Corp from the past that only Kim and Engdu would have seen and remembered. These photos, though, they're completely untouched by the distortion. There must be a strong fixation at play here, strong enough to slip past even a distortion. And if that obsession is something that refuses to let these memories be influenced, I think our next step should be to look for the people in these photos. Oh, good idea. Team leader did say that we should accept input from the LCB with open arms. Hey, Engdu, can you give me the office catalog? We'll probably need to commission an office affiliated with 7 Association. Let's look for one that can take the request right away. Can someone tell Elzer that we're fine? I think I know where to find those people. What? When? How? Well, I guess I'm just having a lucky day. Let's go. Easy peasy. I assume it's because everyone is so stretched that we can just view into their experiences for it. Really, Ryoshu? You're back to having fun screwing with us? Come on. Can you put her on? Roja, you there? What? Dante wants to talk? 1 second. Grand. One's snacking and the other's indecipherable. These two would get along so well if just on any day. I need to find shipping art of them now. Just throw them on TF if they're packaged. Roshi, you can't treat food like that, Kay. Bread has... bakers have feelings too, you know. How do you think the baker would feel if they knew someone was treating their precious babies like trash? The scabbard is rattling again for no reason. Anyways, Dante, can you give me a sec if you need me to fight? Just need to cram these into my pockets real quick. Okay, so that's where they're by then, I suppose. Yep. Time to regroup. And to unsplit this party. Nice name. The owner of the bakery was a woman holding the same wicker basket as the one in the photograph. She took one glance at the picture I held up for her and gave a quick nod. This man, he works in Cannery 17 right next. He's a regular. He used to drop by every morning to buy sandwiches and share with his co-workers. Haven't seen him around lately, though. And those co-workers, I assume they were wearing the same uniform. Probably. He was always wearing one, too. I guess it's the cannery uniform. This confirms our lead executive manager. A few inquiries at that cannery should bring us to the information we need. It's just that she doesn't seem very concerned at all. She's one of the people in the photos that weren't affected by the distortion, right? Thought she'd be a close acquaintance. Allow me to verify, executive... God. Am I supposed to know that? I wasn't expecting her to actually know his name. The apathy evident in her voice gave me pause. No, it isn't, Otis. Sometimes people can just take photographs of, other people from afar. Come on. The baker's demeanor changed. Dang. She gave a strange, unsettling smile before pulling something from her apron pocket. A thin and round can-like object. He said he'd give me 5 of these canned experiences for free if I let him take my picture. Even said he'd throw in the docugraph of the building of my choice. He docugraphs buildings, right? I hear he even takes work trips to the Nest every now and then. So I asked him to give me a docugraph of this lovely mansion I saw by the Nest suburbs. I know I'll never get to afford a beautiful place like this, but this way I could at least experience what it's like. And gosh, it was everything I'd ever hoped for. Oh, poor girl. Poor Baker. Oh boy. I hate that I'm yawning so much. I'm going back to Engie. I know no one's watching, but whatever. I'm gonna keep going. Doesn't matter. Because I know at the end of it, at least one person will watch it. Thank you, Matt. Dost thou mean that those who indulge in canned experiences may experience venturing on an expedition to the Great Lake and bungee jumping off the summit of that skyscraper yonder as they remain seated where they are? I assume once we get the Bach gag, this is probably going to be in English. They may, however. Oh, a magic can allowing one to pursue any dream the heart may conceive. Verily, I confess mine own soul is much tempted. It differs from pursuing a dream. Jeez, he is angry about that one. Mass-produced canned experiences are made from base experience matter mixed with various modified information. The resulting end product enables intense stimulation through altered memory. Therefore, it is unlike the dreams we expressed by Don Quixote. Or experienced. I guess we did experience it, even though it was like a play. A piece of memory refined along the numerous processing... processing stages of the cannery's production lines is not equivalent to genuine experience, meaning the usage of experience in our previous statement must also be amended. Memories altered for intense stimulation. That does sound quite shady. How doth this cast a shade upon the boons granted by the can? Adventures and tales are, forsooth, inclined toward a little grandeur. It is because the memories provided by canned experiences are extremely vivid. Statistics have shown that users of cans interpret them as authentic experiences and become literally what I was worried about. Literally what I was worried about earlier. A possible cause of the formation of dependence patterns is that canned experiences allow one to feel as if one has achieved a dream that is in reality impossible. Art thou implying that the users are made content with devouring forged dreams stored in instant-use cans? Worse still, the user may no longer strive to chase dreams in the waking world. For the sweeter and more splendidly a dream is embellished, the more impossible it will appear to be grasped with one's own hands. To become a cause for surrender, instead of inciting one to march forth. Verily, doth it not annul the significance of dreaming itself, if the resultant dream rouseth not the spirit to gallop toward it? Whether that annuls its significance, I cannot know. But they sell well. Aww. Buy what? You came barging in with all these questions, and I was patient enough to answer them politely, wasn't I? Do you think you'll... Oh, jeez. Her case was on point, actually. With our whole group gathered around, the passerby gave us a wide berth and hurried on, whispering among themselves. Nobody was about to come in and buy bread like this, when you have 13 people dressing down the owner. Jeez. Look, Heathcliff, she has the infinite pockets. We've learned about this. And there's this safely tucked in my coat pocket so we can all share it. Aw. We knew she already ate some. She was scarfing them down. Given that the expenses made to facilitate this operation, the lack of prior budgeting should not pose a problem. Oh my gosh, you're back. I want to smack you. What are you gonna explain? I hate this guy. I really do just hate Kim right now. I don't care if he comes into Sherlock Holmes this thing. I can't. Thank you, Ezra. Jeez, right to the solar plexus. Nice. Brown and tightly coiled. I have completed development of the film per your instruction. Oh, so this is the film in the canister you were shaking. Do I just unroll it? Hold it up against the sun or other sources of light, as it is a reversal film. The images should be visible as they were photographed. Honestly, thank you, Marcel, for this. It was hard to make out the details because the images were too small, but I could still tell the strip was packed with almost identical pictures. Is this the same person in every shot? And the same pose in all of them? See, the further along the trip you go, the lower... Okay, so it's almost like an animation, but with photographs, then. Oh god, what did he photograph of Sinclair's? This reminds me of something I learned in school. You draw a picture in the corner of the... Yes, this is an animation. Because, yeah, you just... Yeah, nudge the arms until they're raised all the way up. You just... And then you flip it down. Yeah, let's go... Why are you terrified of this, though? The arrangement of the frame suggests that this film strip is highly likely to constitute footage of... Oh, okay, understood. Wait, why is footage a violation, but, like, the photos aren't... Huh? That one seems a lot weirder. Also, how far... I feel like I'm not even close to anything. So was I wrong? Oh, there just was no... thing to get from that, I guess. I guess that makes sense. It was only reading. Yeah, okay. This time we got fighting at least. Which means I can show off again. Valentina, let's go. What do you actually do? You are slashing. Okay, I was worried you also had Pierce in there because you do have a rapier. But let's go. As soon as I registered Merceau's words, my hand reflexively threw the film to the ground. Oh, great. When Don Quixote smashed that window at K-Corp and caused the wing to wipe out our team multiple times over. Jeez. If we had Virgilius with us then. Oh. Still, a few of them expressed a casual lack of concern, citing all the crazy things we've gone through so far. Great, so we have half the team desperately scared about the taboo, and the others that's like, yeah, we've dealt with worse. Incredible. Alright, so this is it, huh? It might be a problem if the film roll does contain genuine recorded footage, but it's not like you guys had a hand in filming it, right? When Incorp dudes get here to pick it up, just comply with their commands, thank them for their service, and nicely hand it over to the authorities, and everything should be A-okay. There is a possibility that everything will not be okay. Because I've developed the contents of that film roll in that darkroom. Aww. The court will take the lack of intentionality into consideration. However, it is very likely that my actions will be deemed as aiding the primary violator of the taboo. But... Team leader said that NCORP has their own regulatory standards regarding image quality, which they use to determine the severity of taboo violation. If the footage's image quality or frame rate is within regulations, NCORP won't be sicking their fixers on our butts right away. And that could buy us time or give our company some leverage to make a deal, however small it may be. Because what they're really sniffing around for is how close to reality the video is, or how close of an experience it provides to real life. So, even if we're really, really unlucky and they come after us, it's gonna be fine as long as the footage is low fidelity. Probably. So what exactly does frame rate within regulations entail? It means that the interval between each frame shouldn't be, like, super brief. Think about photo slideshows. They can only show you one image every few seconds, so it doesn't feel real or vivid. You can technically call them motion pictures, but there's no vividness required to violate their taboo. How grand. Otis picked up the film from the ground and showed it to Marcel. That grand. Grand. Like anyone's gonna join. Oh wow, they actually did. See here, the expression risen on the subject's visage appears rather stiff. Maybe they're just a gloomy sort. Perhaps, yet observe closer. The stiffness arises not from gloom, but from strain to maintain it. If that's the case, maybe the subject really is trying to fake an actual footage, but moving very, very slowly. That's a pretty convincing theory, but I'm not sure if that's enough to conclude that we're in the clear just yet. That's when Kim, who had been sprawled on the ground ever since Ezra punched him, stepped into the conversation. Let's see. Look at the shadow cast on the windowsill. See how it noticeably shifts between each frame? Whoever made this knows their craft for sure, but I can't imagine a Backstreets dweller would have any way to mess with the sun's trajectory. Then the likely scenario must be that the creator of this film deliberately made its subject move very slowly from frame to frame, creating a series of disconnected photos that when played sequentially would look like footage that violates that top. My brain is not working. I'm just gonna skip and be angry at myself. Alright, if we stand clear for, breaking a taboo, possibly, maybe. At this point, it seems like the guy is doing photography to do motion pictures, and then because that's a taboo, that's what maybe causes him to distort? Yeah, exactly, Ishmael. You would know. It's a feeling that you could be doing more than live the rest of your life in 9 to 5 hell. You'd have to do something that takes you away from the pressure of trying to make a life. Something about what Ishmael said must have tickled bamboo-headed Kim, because he suddenly whipped around toward her and shook his head. Maybe, but how many of those people do you think are capable of throwing away everything they've built on a whim? From what I've seen, maybe our culprit just likes to play with fire. Must have started by doing something that technically doesn't count as taboo, and inched on and on until he brushed thrillingly close to one. Oh great, he's edging himself. One thrilling shot through this camera and another with the next, until eventually he ended up recording actual footage. Might have been trying to screen it using a projector for all of this part of the back streets to see. Next, around on the opposite street, and apparently some guy's been going around asking workshops if they could help make him a projector. Seemed like most of them turned him down, but they also said that he stopped showing up after a certain point. Fair to guess that he got his hands on a projector somehow. Well, it ain't taboo if you only made a projector, innit? Backstreet blokes are down for anything long as there's coin. Oh, great. Well, time to kill. It's A2K, hello! Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is going all right. I am angry because I do not like that I am yawning a bunch, and also that I keep flubbing a bunch of times when I'm trying to read. So I'm kind of just skipping through, but I hope you're doing alright. I probably should have checked their weaknesses now that I think about it. But I finally got Valentina Roja, even if I had to craft her, and Heathcliff, just to get them. Because Gotcha does not like me this month, I guess. It's pretty late, also EP laws. Yeah. And also the classic Molly worry of not sure if my voice is actually coming through well and if I'm actually holding my voice enough. But enough about me. Hope you're doing well, and actually, how are you doing? Up to anything fun tonight? Oh no, I took a photo of him. Just a little tired. I've been working on a project for almost 6 hours. Ooh, what kind of project? Keeping it a little chill time, to be honest. That's honestly very fair. I will do my best to help you chill and relax, then. Even if it's just playing Limbus Company.
대언했어요.
Sinclair wasn't trying to kill that guy.
아무튼 놀라운 한방이네.
Fine enough, at least. Oops, that's the wrong person. It's an animation screen for spooky theme. Ooh, that sounds really cool. Good luck with it. If it isn't already finished, of course. Pop off my drinking, Rojo.
이대로 몰아붙이면 아무 저항도 못하고 사건이 해결될 수밖에 없겠는데요?
자세에 틀림은 없고.
Let's go, we got the stagger.
이 순간이 다
So then this guy's just unbelievably dead.
낮도
Oh my
밤같이
gosh.
숨이 닿도록 베어내고 약점은
Ah,
없는
dang, you couldn't take another with us.
정면적
We did get another stagger, at least.
이렇게 간단하면 김새는데 추리하는 맛이 안 나잖아.
발광 차단.
It's under process. As you know, it's kind of long projects to be. Yeah, that is very fair. I'm very well versed in how art stuff can go. No, don't move the background. Move the Twitch thing. I want to play with this to at least try to get more of the thing up.
다음. 어릴 땐 몰랐어.
Cause like, yeah, that's the bottom of it, so I can't really fully do it.
그 외부 강사들.
I also have to manually move the Twitch thing.
실력자들이었을 거야.
But then, of course, when God, I'm gonna hate this stupid Twitch overlay.
더 대단한
Or not even overlay, just the text box.
이번에도 잘해줬어.
Because, like, I want it to be cool and stuff, but because I don't use Streamlabs or whatever to, like, properly capture it, I just have to do it on my own. You're also a furry. I am not a furry whatsoever. I am closer to, like, anime girl theming than I am a furry. There's more human than there is animal.
그대.
Oh, don't cry. Why would I not cry? I got called a furry by
도시에선
someone.
저런 형태로 사람을
Nah.
방어하기도 하나 봐.
Just very annoyed at Twitch stuff, as always. Been trying to do cool things with it. I'll send a bunch of guys over to you. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, can I safely at least move this down? Did you make it by yourself? Yes, I have made all the mollies by myself. Except for one that was like... or a couple that I got like... technically fan art. One of them was a commission, and other was like friend art. But yeah, all the molly poses themselves are done by me. Because we got Happy, Star Happy, we got Angie, Sad, Blushy, Villainous, Villainous Happy, Villainous Angie, and Villainous Blushing. Stop photographing Marcel. Come on, Ryoshu. Do better.
공포에 사로잡혀 바닥을 기는 모습은 어디서나 별반 차이가 없네.
What do you have that's reducing this? When using a skill of identical rank to the skill photograph cost per minus. Interesting. So you actually punish people for repeating things. That's actually really neat. Okay, are there just two No, where are these ones going? Oh, you're just going to Engadoo, and you're also on Engadoo. Cool. Thank you for finding the art cool. Honestly, I had a really fun time drawing all the mollies. And I'd also still love doing, like, extra art for them. I even have a little artwork for another Molly fan art thing in the works. And hopefully I will finish it soon. I'm already on coloring it. And I will definitely show it off on both YouTube and Twitter, X.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요. 숨이 타도 배운 다 법을 이제야 좀 이해했고.
Sounds amazing. Thank you, thank you.
한눈 팔았으면 되져야지.
This is just really nice to do art again. Come on, Faust. Thank you. Wish it could have been a better win, but we'll take it.
이렇게 간간하면 김새는데.
And then you're dead.
수리하는 맛이 안 나잖아.
And you are probably dead. Never mind. At least you're staggered now. We are doing wonderfully. What do you think about screens? What do you mean by, like, the screens? Like, the, like, overlay screens and stuff? Let me send you there, actually. You can do that one.
망설임이 없도록.
Jeez, Ezra. Calm down. Yeah, honestly, I think they are really cool. And, like, of course, they definitely, like, serve a purpose and stuff, but, like, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with them. Do you use Discord? I do use Discord, yes. I don't have a server, though, because I don't really feel like I'm in the mood for it. There's been more people over there. I am, however, fine with my lack of screens and stuff for, like, VTubing and things. And also, I don't really have a job, so I can't afford, like, screens if it's a commission. Sorry. I might be jumping the gun on it, it's just, there have been a lot of people in chat over the couple years I've been streaming that come in and are like, that try to put themselves forward, and I understand why, but I'm not the person to be coming for commissions. And I guess I'm just too stuck on some of that. But enough about my weird, I guess, artist trauma, quote-unquote. I think that went on way too long. Instead, Ezra just murder people.
다음번에는 뵐 수 있겠죠?
I don't even. Okay, just you two left, and of
아직
course.
이 사건은 끝나지 않았어.
그래도 이 정도면 충분히 좋은 성과인걸요?
Send you over there at
맞아.
least.
잠깐 들뜨는 것도
And then the rest of you can kill this guy.
좋아.
Zaylee Blake, here's my Discord to add me up. Alright, I will do that.
감추 소-
Oh, you also followed. Thank you.
왜? 몰랐어? 내가 말했잖아. 난 듀엘에서도 일기토에서도
Oh, you guys again. I was wondering what you guys were. But then, no, I remember.
동부싱크 3과 던키.
Hardly a challenge. What a waste of time. Well, at least they're not much of a fighter one-on-one. Service de Clos is not a combat specialized department. While they have all undergone basic combat training for exigent circumstances, they are not prepared for head-on conflicts such as this. Yeah, I noticed. They kept taking pictures of us with their briefcases. I'm guessing that's their primary job description. What are they snapping away for, then? Whispering behind their backs like a load of creeps. Collecting photos to include in their report for the higher-ups, I'd wager. I can kind of see how they could think we're involved in this somehow. Every time they followed a lead, they ended up encountering us. It's actually a surprising rationale. I hate fireworks so much. It probably wasn't caught, but I could hear a faraway firework. I am not gonna like the 4th when it comes around. What is he thinking? What is it that he wishes to say? Or is he simply contemplating, observing without any preconceived notions? His silence shouldn't have been any different from his usual reticence, but as though by some chance or whim. I was struck by this sense of brief yet distinct strangeness, and was compelled to speak with him. Don't hesitate to let me know if there's something you want to say, but aren't sure if you're supposed to say it. I would do as you ordered should one such a circumstance occur. Dang. Do you have anything to say right now? Grand. Prodding for answers wasn't going to get me anywhere. Well, he'll probably turn talkative once we get to his canto proper. Would have been nice to know what you were looking at. Oh, that. I cannot form a judgment. That is because the precise definition and nature of the subject of my gaze are just as unknown to me as to you. Should you point to an object or an enemy, I can provide a verbal explanation based on my current knowledge. If you require such information, please rephrase your question accordingly. Had I asked him again then, had I tried to get to the bottom of that line of questioning, could I have found myself the smallest peek into Merceau's psyche, which had remained entirely shrouded in mystery, even after an entire year of traveling together? I suppose that's not up for me to judge as well. Another battle is imminent. As we've previously instructed, I've informed you of an imminent battle. Oh, So, they must have been on their way to that building. Our path ahead seems clear, Executive Manager. Let us neutralize those foes and head up there. Grand. What the heck is happening here? Also, this is creepy as heck with all these other photos on it. Bloody hell, them blokes we fought downstairs must have been the weaker ones of the bunch. How does N-Corp have so many guys on their payroll? There's no end to them. It is a wing, after all. Are these the taboo violators? I thought the culprit worked alone. No, I'm quite certain they're the ones from the subsequent reports. It was clear to me that they were expecting to find the taboo violator here, not a big group of a dozen or so people. What were they thinking, sending fodder like us to deal with an organized taboo violation? They should have sent taboo hunters here instead. Why do you think they told us to consume canned experiences containing mass melee combat? They must have thought our current manpower would suffice to deal with this. I don't know about that. Wait, wasn't there an extra report that one of them said... Grand. Its exterior is plastered with strange shapes that look similar to what we saw in the Chunokun's faces in our earlier battles, making it difficult to grasp its full shape. I do not like where this is heading. The moment it began to emit a faint ray of light, Otis thundered in a commanding voice. I quickly turned away as well, making sure not to catch even a glimpse of it. Even a brief look at it could constitute taboo violation. Shh! I saw that. I'm so finished. Just as panic began creeping into the voices of several unlucky individuals. Oh man, folks. This is starting to get a little embarrassing. A sleepy voice breaks through the darkness past my metaphorically speaking shut eyes. Also, hello, Sharky. Good to see you. We are currently breaking the laws in the game. Not actually, Twitch. Do not shoot me, Twitch, please. It was a joke. Eyes opening, do. What's wrong with everyone? Got dust in your eyes? The hell's wrong with you? Don't you know that anyone who watches even a split second of a recorded video in N-Corp gets... Of course I know, but I watched it anyway. Open your eyes, esteemed fellows. This motion picture isn't recorded. Grand. I finally allowed myself to take a good look at the machine, which was firing a conical beam of light against the side of the wall. I love your stars, they're so cute. Aw, thank you. They were the first extra pose I did, and I call them Star Happy in my file. And this was its message, delivered via white words on a black background. So you've tracked me down this far. After what I went through to take refuge in here, they still ended up finding this place. All of you blindly consuming fake experience after fake experience without even a care about the real thing. Case number TC3224. You are under suspicion of a Category 3 violation. Reveal yourself now and forfeit your legal recordings. Should you comply, we will... What is foolery but witless buffoonery in the absence of... Cam, you can't throw me at that. I'm already having a tough time speaking. You can't throw me for a loop. The hollowed vessel, bereft of all but lingering delusions, grants not even a bruit of echo to the dogged excoriation of tools. If you mean to obstruct our official duties, we won't hesitate to use force. Jeez. After what I went through to take refuge in here, they still ended up finding this place. All of you blindly consuming fakes. Okay, so it's just... yeah. Now that does make me wonder, was I just as far gone when I distorted past all words and reason? I mean, if anyone has an answer to that question, it'd be you folks, right? Kim said nothing more. He turned a piercing look on us. All the while effortlessly swatting away the N-Corp employees' attacks. Also hope you're doing well this night, Sharky. As though he was goading us into telling him the truth. Well, don't suppose there's any point in asking. I am no different from this abomination. Just as it wields that contraption, I must have wielded the only thing I really have known. The blade. Transforming into a mindless fiend consumed by a mere tool. Cleaving through both friend and foe unrestrained. Yeah, that was unfortunately true. I tried to avert my eyes. I truly did. But such disregard is easier said than done. How can I, when that distorted being has no qualms showing me the... Doesn't he know how rude the unsolicited reflecting of the fathoms of one's heart is? That's gotta be illegal or something. Illegal, I say. Turning a customer into a thug on a protection racket run. A mere ant before a car in motion into a swerving driver. Conjuring dead followers before the eyes of their mentor. Simply unconscionable. Rude as hell, some might say. My poor heart almost burst out of my chest, courtesy of you. In that split second, I think I saw Merceau's eyebrows twitch. Thanks for the flashbang again, N-Corp. The first thing that came into view was a particularly unsettling landscape of S-Corp, followed by bamboo-headed Kim surrounded by a small army of Chunokun. Mentor, still do I wake from these dreams drenched in cold sweat, that they may bind and drag you away. Eh, this isn't so bad, isn't it? It's just these folks so far, unlike earlier when... I'm starting to get worried that the mystery thing is scary. Hello to Hermit Gamer. Good luck for the Reflect Trial boss. I am not doing the Reflect Trial boss, thankfully. I am not suffering anymore, even though I was able to do the first one, not the Ricardo one, the one before her, or him. I was able to do that one just fine. Ricardo beat me, so I'm not even gonna try this one. But nice to see you tonight. Hope you're doing well. Don't the rewards, even the facade from Marcel? Yeah, I know there's the cool, like, facade and stuff, but, like... that's a thing I really don't care for, if I'm honest. I feel like the facade concept is nice, but I don't think it's done well. Really. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing, honestly. Oh, I need to read them. To the one who finds comfort settling in lies, I give you what most deserved your gaze. Oh, grand. Yeah, so true. Heathcliff, we're getting flashbanged so many times. The game throws an actual hard fight and the player can't just win rate through it. It's not about win rate, because I don't even do win rate unless, like, they're staggered and dying, basically. Like, I try. The fights are just absolutely difficult, honestly. Unlike the earlier instance, one of the distortions is different from the others. As Merceau identified, there was something different about the group of Chinokin this time. They were accompanied by someone else. Please not bamboo-headed Kim. Okay, good, thank you. That armor, and a great Huando of the Sal Circle. To be reunited in such a manner. Jeez. That is a huge sword. And also the bow, too. But, like, that one's expected, at least. I suppose this is how it would have gone down had you been the one to grab me. Military Commissioner Im Gyong-yup. How do you fare, friend? At the signal arrows loosing, seize the accused. And fight time. To fight the Imperial Korean Army, I guess. I hate that you have a billion things. Okay, you're going after this one. Alright. And you're clashing this one. Understood. I'm just gonna ignore you because you're not really doing anything, basically. These ones are gonna be a bit more difficult just because it starts at 8. Come on. Thank you, Ishmael. Let's go. Alright, we can start happy again. Of course you have a big damage shield. So I'm going to assume that once I break that, you're gonna phase 2. I know I can just stop to read it, but like I didn't. So I'll get my chance after this one. Good job, Egg Do. Good job, everyone. 7 plus swordplay of the homeland sound. Convert all coins into unbreakable. Cool. You are currently at 1. How are you gaining these? Or are you just gaining them through passives? So a different battlefield of home after 2 grand. Use a powder made of single coin skills. That sounds scary. Gains advantage at a higher swordplay of the homeland stack. Well, you're already at 7, and what's the base of it? Yep, they do have things. I will read you after. 9, and you already have 7. Cool. I enjoyed this fight even better with Reflect Trial. Contrary to the majority of players, PM is finally giving me a reason to stretch my mental muscles and giving me a Ruina level boss fight. Heck yeah. Yeah, honestly, even though the 2 fights I played were difficult, there definitely is some fun to be had with them. Lose 1 stack while taking damage shield equal to 10%. Okay, so the more I beat you up, the more you lose this. And then the other stuff. So, the only one that I think had it was... Yep, just you. The Bear Hunt. The mountains of S-Corp's District 19 are home to all manner of beasts. Amongst them, the bear in particular boasts strength and force akin to boulders falling from the cliff in a landslide. Giving ground to the creature's charge is ill-advised. One must aim to hew it down with the first slash of the blade. Oh my gosh, there's just... Jeez. Okay, I can start with the... I'll start bottom up with these 2. I'll cost 1 gain plus 2 poise count. If it hits, more bleed. Cool. I used to run a ban list for the more recent IDs since their firepower would outskill the content too hard. Now I have reason to use resources. It took like 4 cantos, but I finally built Wild Hunt. Nice! There are those who persevere in training for lack of talent. Then there are those blessed with talent only to let it rust. All men say that the title of Apex Blade can only be seized by the gifted. It matters not. Until the day comes for this blade of mine to rise high enough to meet the clouds, I shall persevere in honing my prowess. Double checking YouTube, make sure it's still going when it is. And then, yeah, you're the every 3 turns, gain 5 plus 2 because you still have shield. The student lost all clashes for 2 turns in a row. Oh, okay. So when I do that in the turn after the turn in which the unit spent its stagger, cool. Or if you're in panic. So we have tech for a bunch of things. Also got to hand it to Kim. He got an old squeeze waiting for him back in S-Corp. The Sword of the Homeland, S-Corp's traditional art of swordsmanship, is also divided into 3 branches, Sao, Pi, and Pyo. Within their teachings exist techniques to hew and cleave through creatures of colossal stature such as Sengans. To perform them in full, a swordsman must wield a great huando capable of bearing the strain of the techniques. Also, I definitely did not pronounce this right. And now, the paragraph. The Eastern Warstride armors are not much so equipped as they are piloted. S-Corp's Dujiang Brigandine is one such example of armor. Much like R-Corp's powered armor suit and the full-plate armor used by the Knights of the West, the Dujiang Brigandine greatly augments the user's offensive and defensive combat capabilities. Yet, these advantages do not mean that armors of such potency are readily supplied for combat personnel. Each unit has its own unique controls and comes with the limitation of requiring separate fuels. What remains certain, however, is that, as with all the aforementioned armors, once a writer has familiarized himself with the Dujiang Brigandine's extended reach and heightened power output, he becomes a machine of war that strides across battlefields with the promise of slaughter. That is sick. Need someone to take this one. Like, it can't just be... You can take that. You can take that. I'm not liking where these attacks are going, unfortunately. But I at least want them all to be clashed. Im Gyung as boss, I'm a Mercu. Im Gyung outside of combat. Wife material, it's Zilu all over again. Jeez.
낫도 방도지. 숨이 타도록 배우네.
새삼스럽지만 꽤 괜찮아. 제법이야.
Funny counter.
사냥 끝.
놀라운 명령이네요. 적을 완벽히 파악하고 있으신 거군요.
Please, thank you. Come on. Engdu, please. Well, there's that single point attack. Dang it, Merceau. And the stars are going away. Because nothing is working out. Except Sinclair just turned it around. Let's go.
풀어나가기 어려운 전투는 저희가 함께 해결해 드릴게요.
모든 문제에는 반드시 실마리가 있기 마련이니까.
That's right, you do just have a bunch of stuff on you, don't you? This is getting very annoying with how high these are. I actually cannot evade that whatsoever.
자신 있으면 받아봐.
Can't really touch that Engdu. Thank you, Ezra. Come on, let's keep it going. We got Faust on the victory. Let's keep this momentum. Dang it, Honglu. We are back to Angie because things are going badly.
단수가 이어졌다면
Making slow. Wow, that is impressive, Sinclair. I did not believe in you at all with that one.
내가 이딴 곳에서 처투해줄 사람 같아?
Thanks for the flashbang.
이상하네요. 이렇게 다칠 일이 아니었던 것 같은데.
The projector.
보이지 않는 무언가의 공격일 수도 있다.
Heal 15 SP for all sinners. Okay. Cannot be killed. Does not take any damage from sources other than skill damage from skills attacking as the main unit. 1. What do you do with these? Okay, so basically you switch back after you lose all of them. Alright, so we can at least spend some time beating these guys up. Actually, I'll switch you off. And then just sending them over to there. It's nice to see a boss where just winning may not be enough to win due to her swordplay stacks moving up and down.
아름다운 것. 그렇지 않은 것.
Yeah, that is fair.
엄마는 무기라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어.
Come on.
더하면 제일 뛰어난 게 검이야.
We can at least start tearing through some of these guys.
정리로 와.
이 순간이 닿아도 베어내리라.
I will be sad, but I'm pretty sure that
이제
once
벗어났나?
once you return to your stacks in the other battlefield, I'm sure you're gonna refresh the guys who are on the field.
이따가 보스에서 회고해야지 않겠는가?
Who are you targeting? Faust. Faust does not have much of anything, so honestly, just accept the abuse. No, you can't do that. Alright. Gonna do this. Well, you can't die at one, can you? Cannot be killed, and no, that's from other things. No, I guess you can't be killed. Because that comma separating it is making me worried that it just won't die and I'll have to kill Im Seong. Or Im Gyeong. Yeah, okay, it just ends it faster. Understood.
류슈 씨,
Oh, these do actually keep the health. Interesting. Alright, time for pain.
아무런 문제가 없었던 건 아니지만 이 정도면 충분히 끝까지 도달할 거야.
Come on. Alright, I will do Star Happy again. Because, honestly, because of the SP heal, I'm feeling a little bit better now.
재행 그렇담 무상
Oh, this definitely helps Angdu. Need to keep tearing through this shield. Not dead, close to death though. This might hurt.
이건 내가 완전 참.
Okay, no, it's normal damage.
벌써 추리를 성공해버렸네. 이 상대는
주의 깊게 보지 않으면 잘못
Oh, thank you, Ezra. You're so attractive with that guard.
속 펀치.
Okay, that other guy's dead at the very least.
감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
And then free hits.
해결사 영웅이의 이런
And thankfully they fixed the funny bleed mechanic. You pulling on the next world perk is banner. I don't think I have enough lunacy anymore because I spent it going for Roja and Heathcliff.
어때? 사람을 단축한 보기 좋아지지 않았나? 차단.
Poor Ingdu. Poor Ishmael Ingdu.
순간이 닿아도 베어내
But we're slowly whittling away your stupid damage shield.
몰아치는 것을 처절한 원망
Good job, Ezra. Jeez. Couldn't wait to just shard him. See, part of it also was wanting to make the stream a bit more fun with the gambling. But yeah, I did end up just sharding them. So honestly, it was just 7,000 to 9,000 wasted lunacy.
자, 동료들이여 자세를 갖추고 저들을 맞이하세 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고 끝나지 않는 모험을 향하여
망설임이 없도록.
Let's go and do. This is gonna hurt. Since you're just getting shot. Let's go though. Oh my jeez.
이 순간이
So much damage on that one. Come on, we're so close to it. Just 400 more damage.
대전
아름다운 것
Okay, there's a crit in there. And there's a second crit in there. Ugh, we're so close to just getting through the damage shield. And of course,
히 긁어
honestly, I'll just spend my time killing you then at this point.
시선이 늘었고. 앞으로 한 번만 더 기분 나쁜 눈빛으로 내 검을 힐끔힐끔 쳐다보며 그땐 예외 없이 발목 분다 이 순간이 다도 베어내리라 낮도 밤도 지워 숨이 다도
Jeez, Ryoshu, calm down a little bit. These guys just got summoned,
사건이 해결될 수밖에 없겠는데.
and we're already going through them. At this point, my lunacy is used for one purpose: the first couple of banners for a new season to build up charge stocks, or tactical stamina reload to make up for excessive team building. Honestly, that probably is the smartest way to go about it. But that is not the Molly way to go about it. It's instead to roll for gacha and then cry about gacha.
지금처럼 접대를 성공적으로 이끌다 보면 앞으로 더 많은 층을 개방하고 더 많은 보조사서의 도움을 받을 수 있을 거야.
타겟 포착 1시간.
Gotta make sure to kill these enemies, so that way I don't have to deal with them in the other world.
귀와 요격
Because they've yet to just spawn, they just kind of took their place from what it looked like.
귀와 요격
난 너희가 좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각했거든.
And it looks like we're gonna be triggering that.
사냥 끝. 모조리 해체해줄게.
그 삶의 마침표를.
Tiers equals viewership, so it makes sense.
모분조토 얼마나 썼다고 역시 모가지를 분질러야 조용해진다
This is just getting stronger and stronger for each bleed on the target. Interesting. So basically, if I go at you with someone who... No, okay, never mind. Honestly, it's still pretty good because it's final power, and if she doesn't have any bleed, then it shouldn't do too much.
발광. 차단.
And we'll do soda just for the heal. Oh, he's second forming. Really hard to focus on one thing with that huge warrior zapping in and out of reality as soon as we make ourselves an opening. It'd make our lives a whole lot easier if we could just get rid of one of them. It wasn't that we were up against an insurmountable foe, not even close. Not to mention how Ezra and Ingdu were here to help us out. Shite, haven't they had enough? About time they gave up, isn't it? Oh, why don't you go legging it again? That big sword Karen fella sure is kicking our butts, but I don't know if they're the key to solving this distortion. We ain't exactly flush with options, are we? Our exit's blocked and ain't like we can stop mid-fight to strategize. With the battlefield constantly shifting and flashing between N-Corp and S-Corp, we simply did not have the breathing room to focus on either the projector or Im Gyung-up, who was swinging that great blade with frightening force. Besides, N-Corp was sending far too many people against us. There weren't many at first, but it seemed that the sudden spike in employee casualties in an area so close to the nest had alerted N-Corp to our location. How do we get out of this? I decided to stop racking my brain trying to navigate a situation I know so little about and instead rely on the sinners with possibly more experience. First, I need to know if there's any way we can deal with the endless reinforcements. Second, will defeating Im Young Yop or destroying that projector bring an end to this distortion phenomenon? If I may speak freely, Executive Manager, it is unlikely that our present force will be sufficient to overcome the current rate of enemy reinforcements. Not only is the battlefield situated in close proximity to the enemy stronghold, but there is an unpredictable variable in that strange machine that makes neutralizing even a single wave of enemies difficult. I regret to be the bearer of bad news, but we are trapped in a battlefield with but a single exit, which the enemies have already blocked. Without reinforcements of our own, there is little hope of prevailing through this predicament. Use the Dungeon of the Fathoms as our exit? Jeez. He says that all you have to do is read what's on that note in front of his distortion. Apparently it's some kind of code. This one seemed to be a location-type distortion, which means that regardless of where the bright flashes take us, N-Corp or the twisted caricature of S-Corp, we're still within its range. In other words, as long as I have the right keywords, I can summon an entrance to its Dungeon of Fathoms. First things first, one of them has to be photograph. It's obviously been present throughout. Oh boy, yawning. Thank you, Yisong. Especially because he does have the hatred for the canned experiences. Something that is at once synonymous with experience, while maintaining a through line to N-Corp technology that was the core of his obsession. Not seems to transpire as of yet. Are these the kind of photographs used to make canned experiences? So that's how the strange sensation was. Oh, it's even happening here. Mentioning that word shook the distortion and caused that rippling effect. But it was clearly not enough to force open the dungeon. How many other keywords could there be? Well, that we're all taking turns. Come on, Kim. See, when enjoying the benefits of slacking off at work, all kinds of mundanities come to possess far more interesting qualities, something even revealing secrets invisible to eyes focused elsewhere. Take our person of interest to wit. He's been poking around this area of town with an eye-wateringly expensive camera in tow, so conspicuously that every store owner I'd lightly prodded for information had tales to tell about him. Each tale added another facet to the long saga of a once-driven man. A man with a can-do attitude, an uncanny ability to pull himself up by his own bootstraps, and a clear path toward Nest residence, who became so bewitched by photography that he eventually squandered his fortune on what was, in the end, nothing more than a pastime. Aww. I'm starting to feel bad for this guy now. And that went on until he found himself reduced to a pauper, barely making rent on a scrap heap of an apartment. In pursuit of his ideality, the man has lost a grip of fortune and reality. I sought out his apartment and found a few scraps of his writing. When cold rain drips through the roof, when mold and tepid humidity together encroach from the earth, the mind begins to wander, lost. Eventually, madness is evoked in a form indistinguishable from drunkenness. The pauper loses himself. Yep. Perhaps I shouldn't be surprised by the fact that this distortion has, among the countless people here, taken a particular interest. Like inserting a final piece of the puzzle, the space before us momentarily warped and flashed, opening up. Nice! We did it! Thanks, Kim! Look, just hold off our back, okay? Let's go, Kim. Fight off the hundreds of Encorp guys. I mean, yeah, if this dungeon's connected to you, Kim, we need you. With the hardware... Learn the hard way that homework, like summer reading, doesn't go away just because you don't look at it. It's still there, even as the summer break comes to an end, ruining the last day of your vacation into an all-nighter. Aw. Arayashiki's scabbard vibrated cheerfully in agreement. Stop procrastinating. Go do your summer reading. What was it you said? Face the homework, save the GPA. Dang it, Ryoshu. I hate you for your puns so much. Let's go, Kim. Jeez.
지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며 많은 기억을 쌓아.
Alright. Made it to the mirror dungeon, I'm pretty sure now. Yep. But also I should probably buy one thing in particular. Chunokun Honglu.
제가 분명 말했죠? 뛰어봤자 벼룩이라니까.
Finally got you. I will raise you up later. Even if I know, like, doing it will be is probably better for, like, farming and stuff. I'm just gonna take this team in. Is there anyone I should change out? If I leveled you, I would. But no, this team should do the trick. Anyone I should change out? I think I'd go Fluid Sack. Fluid Sack is too good for this. They're just always good, really. I'm definitely keeping you in. Then I don't think there's anything here that I really need to change for you, because none of this really... Or I guess I forget to teleport for you. You are just extremely decent. Should be fine here still. I think I can actually just... What's the difference? You do the funny bleed stuff, but also heal. Alright, you're keeping. Let's go, mirror dungeon time. If that's how everyone's been living, then my life, my photographs too. It is reminiscent of my homeland, but the sights are much too hideous compared to what rests in my memories. Hideous was apt. When we emerged from the entrance of the dungeon into S-Corp Street, what greeted us was distorted and eerie scenery. I wouldn't be surprised to find it an S-Corp-themed haunted mansion. 'Tis a place hardly fit for human habitation, far more dilapidated than once expected. Thou sayest that people inhabit these lands for truth. Really? I think it has a cool vibe. Vibe's my foot. I don't think I'll be able to get a wink of sleep in here. The lives of the downtrodden were beset by 1,000 woes and tenfold more struggles, and the streets they inhabit reflect that reality. Many times I had contemplated in consternation how the folk here had even the will to live on. On the days when the skies were spotless blue and without orders from the counselor, I would scale to the roof of that choga and feel it rustle beneath my back as I lay upon it. I thought it to be a respite solely mine, yet in this mirror world, another has walked here before my arrival. A wicked tunnel have I passed, and now I witness myself before the one who shall strike the head from my torso. Man, that armor is so huge on her. Are you home? I asked. What a strange visitor I have. Why not call at the front gate if you've come seeking the master of the house? Be not like a dog barking up the wrong tree. It's unbecoming. A dog? Really now? I could see you up there lounging on the roof. I'm not going to speak to the door like I'm blind. Has a spell of some sort befallen the day? To have such an odd occurrence transpire twice successive, the work of a bewitching spirit, I say. What's so bewitching about checking in on someone? Isn't it odd that a high and noble military commissioner of our esteemed corporation would come in person to simply check in on how a lowly mercenary fares? She certainly knows her jests. She marches forth, vested in war strider armor, yet expects no violence. She wields a two-handed great blade like a demonic yaksha, yet harbors no hostile intent. Why, who else might she be but Military Commissioner Gyeong Up, the principal of the famed Im family? You are certainly in the habit of speaking in hyperbole. I am not so noble that I deserve to be complimented with an epithet so grand as the principled. Not a compliment. You see, Commissioner, this is a rhetorical technique known as a backhanded compliment, in which I damn you with praise, for you are so bound by your precious principles that you would rather be unreasonable than betray them. Does an officer ranked second ordnance have no wit to engage in such banter? Why, am I out of line, as they say? You two are friends, right? This was our first meeting, so no, not at this precise moment. I know I'm just saying that if I were her, I wouldn't ever let myself become friends with you after such a bad first impression. Can't imagine becoming friends with someone who keeps pushing my buttons. Very fair, Honglu. Fine, you have a point. I guess I do have a habit of pushing people's buttons, too. Like the time you rage-baited Heathcliff and tried to murder him. But still, I hope you're not seriously comparing the way I talk to a sassy, gotcha-digging, pun-riddled. Well, the world we live in is a vast and diverse one. Consider yourself lucky that you're surrounded by so many quirky characters. It's because of that same luck that she took that joke rather well than respond by trying to cut my head off. You are out of line, yes, but I knew you would be, so I won't take issue with it. Though I must admit, the rumors of your sharp tongue do you no justice. The streets speak of a man they call Kim Lib, a man who once had intended to pursue the path of the brush, only to realize the sins of his forefathers and exile himself to the back streets. Yet with sheer power of will, gritted teeth, and scarred heart, did he find in the path of sword another way into the nest, as the right state's counselor's sworn guard at that. That's you, isn't it? Also, for the back streets, this is very... Actually, no, this isn't the back streets. But, man, this looks really nice. Meanwhile, Kanto 1 sinners killing each other. So true. Im Gyung be like, this man is mine, I'm gonna ride him. Honestly, yeah. All those superlatives, yet the reality is that I've merely found the path of man butchery as a viable way of life. Direct any compliments you have toward the right state counselor, if you will. I am but a butchering blade that happened to fall into the right hands. Not a compliment, just the word on the street. You're a quick learner. And spare me the fancy reading of my name. Watching you pretend that pompous posturing comes naturally is painful enough already. Keep it simple and spell it out as bamboo-hatted Kim, thank you. And does he continue to veer away from the line? I'd rather be a corpse cold and dead than stay in line. Have a shred of mercy on me, almighty one. If I'd come all the way here just to punish you for every little misdeed and ill manners, I would have laid you out and split you in 2, 3 ways before this riveting dialogue brought us this far. So feel safe to continue traipsing outside the line, but in return, would you answer a few of my questions? I've been watching you from a distance for a while now. Really? Stalking someone's not very principled of you. You sure she didn't give you a good wallop after that? No, truly a mystery, isn't it? Besides, should you give me free rein to continue traipsing outside the line, I couldn't in good conscience turn down such offers of kindness. Not that I ever do. You sure have a way of words. A way of finding your way under the listener's skin, huh? Perhaps, yet are such japes not to be expected among fellowships of close mutual bond. They don't look like friends, though. So, care to tell us what she's been watching you? I was engaged in the age-old pastime of throwing rocks. Oh, you speak of the game of Sukjeon? Save them for the festivities of Dano. I was throwing rocks at the passer. Jeez. People of Pipio and Sao, in particular, found it to be distasteful, and they did not let their discontent be hidden. But the P and their downtrodden cheered me on to a degree. They found it cathartic. Oh, curious. Then it is a right deed. Then is it a right deed or a deed not right? Pipio, Sao, whatever is it that thou art describing? It is a well-known truth that S-Corp is also known by its other name, Sao Pipio Agro Industries. A wing specializing in the general agriculture and livestock industry of the city, the vastness and the depth of its responsibilities have necessitated such divisions of labor. Thus, District 19 is split into 3 court circles, responsible for different aspects of the industry. Sao, P, and Pipio, each meaning flesh, blood, and bone, respectively. Sao, responsible for the cultivation of rice and other grains. Pipio, responsible for meat and livestock. And P, in charge of the technological aspects of both. As a scientist and researcher who once toiled at S-Corp, he must have felt the persecution the P faced firsthand. It is, I believe, that the Trinity was designed for balance, that they would provide assistance when requested, and keep one another in check when needed. It was once a promise of cultivating a fair and sustainable S-Corp. Alas, the noble intentions of yesteryear now lie sullied, the Trinity now degraded to 3 quarreling bands of profiteers blinded by avarice, relying not on honor but betrayal and perfidy to claim the top of the triangle. Jeez. An adherent of the flesh claims the position of the chief state counselor and monopolizes rice as the common folk starve. An adherent of the bone, once a right state counselor, toadies to sell and rice to the seat of the left state councilor. When such shameless conspiracy permits not the common folk to even till the land as they please, anguished cries of suffering flood the streets. Thus, the common folk are reduced to livestock bleeding out, hanging from a hook while bone and flesh collude like that of the emaciated dead. I am still flubbing things, and I'm tired of it. Who shall claim the severance of flesh and bone and force them both to yield? An oft-heard poem and walk in the streets of Escorp. They weren't people, rats. Oh, grand. Oh yes, the council finds rats detestable. Much better to stop them from a distance if you want to crush them. By any chance, do these rats have a habit of sneaking into the royal court to better pilfer what the common folk rightfully deserve? They certainly suffer from a severe case of kleptomania. So, you purposely threw a rock at his feet to trip him to the ground, knowing that he was a kleptocrat? Well, I simply could not help but react at such a presence in such a scurrying rat. Is there aught you find funny? Speak if you do, I could use a good laugh about now. Just heartily expressing my gratitude, that's all. Those whose corruption is revealed ought to readily receive their scarlet aura bonds, the gall to scamper away with their expensive prosthetics. My men were having some trouble apprehending them until now. Well, if that is your intent, you are invited to leave a token of gratitude somewhere in the vicinity. Perhaps I'll happen to pick it up. Wouldn't want to get thrown in the dungeons teeming with real vermin. Oh, I was just going to do that. So, when will you stop being a sword and be human again? When do you clock out? The way I see it, you're not the kind of person who will ever let a drop of liquor get to his tongue while on duty for the right state counselor. Aw, her face is actually really cute. Return to this chogo when you're human again. I'll buy you a drink as thanks. She's a funny one, hmm? Mentor, then this fellow you had often mentioned fondly was? Correct. Haven't I mentioned her a few times as a drinking fellow I had left behind in Escorp? I must say, I myself found that relationship most intriguing, that a military commissioner of the Sal faction would fraternize with a bodyguard of the right state counselor who was of the P faction. Still, I knew not that the fellow was none other than a military commissioner of Escorp. It is news to me that you've had ties to a second ordinate official, a military officer with command over high-ranking employees of a wing at that. Well, I was in the service of the right state counselor who's a first ordinate, you know. Well, that might be true, yet you would like to know why I, with such a powerful friend by my side, have ended up as an exile from Escorp. Yes, your silence over matters of such a great import is why I have come to introduce you to others as a reticent one, Mentor. We had made the Blade lineage our home for Escorp, availed no home for us but the lineage, but you, Mentor. I'd rather show than tell. Let us proceed. This enchanted place seems intent on unearthing all of my past, both savory and unsavory. All shall be revealed in due time. We're finally in the mirror dungeon, and honestly, I think this is the perfect time to eep. It's a long one. Honestly, there's probably going to be another layer to it as well. But we'll come back for another stream to do this.
뭐야? 벌써 다 마셨잖아.
At the very least, I can end this off with the Chunokun. Unless it's like super long, then I'll just be sad about it.
노비면 노비답게, 죄인이면 죄인답게. 이 오랏줄에 묶이시게.
Oh, jeez. God, what a weapon to use. The lasso was made from ropes called ora, or scarlet bonds. The fugitive fell to the ground helplessly and was soon dragged away before... Jeez. Unlike the royal censors who act under royal decree, Chinokins are fixers, each serving their own interests. And when the hunt begins, they form pacts with those among their ranks who stand to gain from the same pursuit. Thanks for the time, see you around. Thank you for showing up to Hermit Gamer, it's Zay2K, and also you, Jasharky. I thought we had lost you in the maze of alleys. I commend your tenacity for what it's worth. I hate to break it to you, but these parts are a common escape route for you fugitives. So thanks to you, I can navigate this entire network of alleys with my eyes closed. And you're proud of that? Proud? No, it's got nothing to do with pride. I've just been here enough times that I know it like the back of my hand. Jeez. Oh. There's something I've been wondering for a while, actually. Why does your kind flee? Do you actually expect something to change? There's nothing for you in the other districts. You think your life will improve once you make it to a different wing? The wings are all the same. There's nothing you penniless, powerless people can do to better your lives. Why do they flee, knowing the risk to their lives? What could possibly be motivating them? The child failed to understand the drive behind their desperation to flee, and he never will. Oh, this is actually kind of sad. Who wish for nothing save liberty, the uncertainty of tomorrow's peril we will take with willing hearts. Something unhappy with the resident's cryptic reply, the child stopped chatting with the captured Nobi, and the captive too fell quiet. Oh wow, they actually lost the other person. Get stopped by some new upstart syndicate, said I was to cough up a toll if I wanted to get past them. That can't be helped, I guess. We're running a business after all, no need to incur unnecessary expenses. Aww. Actual good guy being punished in this, dang. But again, thank you everyone for showing up. I hope I can get some of you again when I stream next time. And also hopefully next time I don't stream late at night so it's quieter. But hope everyone has a good night. I already said that. And yeah, that's it. I really need an outro, honestly.